ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back, okay? Today, we are going to be starting a new series, the HBCU Superlative List. I dropped the pictures a couple days ago so y'all know what to expect. Now I gotta give it to y'all. Now, this series is going to be 4 parts, 4 videos. This is part 1, obviously. In this part 1, I'm going to be telling you who is running back university, who's DB university, who's defensive line university, and who has the best drip, meaning the best uniforms in the SWAC. Or in the HBCU period, not just the SWAC. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to put the list up for y'all to see the rest of the superlatives that's coming. There's an offensive one, there's a defensive one, and then there's a best of the rest to end the whole series. You're going to get this not only in the preseason, right, but you're also going to get this in the offseason as well. So enjoy this now, because by the time the offseason comes, after the Celebration Bowl, this list will most likely change. So some of y'all are going to agree with it. Some of y'all are going to disagree with it. That's okay. Let me know down in the comments who you think should be, where. But just please know, your school can't win everything. So, these are my picks. I feel confident about it. Let's get into it. For the first superlative, running back university. I thought long and hard about this. A few people said Grambling, and I almost went Grambling. I did. Yard Talk, I know you watching. Shout out to Yard Talk. Y'all subscribe to her channel. Don't unsubscribe, because I know you probably itching towards that button. I was about to choose Grambling. I was so close. But to me, it's FAMU. FAMU is running back university as of right now. Why? What do they have over Grambling? They have running backs, 3 in particular, not even including Terrell Jennings yet, but they have 3 in particular coming from the FBS level who are experienced. That is what Grambling doesn't have. That's what stopped them from being running back U, in my opinion. They have Maurice Washington, who is a dog out of Nebraska, right? He's the only one who's experienced. The rest of these kids come from high school. They haven't played it down in college football yet. So it was kind of hard for me to put them there. But FAMU, you talk about losing Bishop Bonnet, who was arguably one of the most explosive running backs in the conference last year. And now you bring back Terrell Jennings, who waited his turn in rushing for over 500 yards last season. He's ready to get things rolling. You bring former 4-star recruit AJ Ford from Pittsburgh, right? He's in the building now. You got Isaiah Connolly from Coastal Carolina University, and then you bring in Destin Coates from Georgia State. Destin Coates is a threat once you get in that red zone. Please understand me when I say that. AJ Ford is going to make his presence known for FAMU as well. That 4-headed horse that they have in running back is going to be very hard to stop, and I think it makes them a very interesting team. Right now, they're running back U, in my opinion. Like I said, these are just my opinions. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Now, that's running back U. That goes to FAMU. Next up, DB University. Come on, man. It was no other school I could choose. It got to be Jackson State. Y'all can hate, but it has to be Jackson State. And I'm going to tell you why. Let me just name some guys, right? Nugget. Y'all know what Nugget do. Former 4-star recruit. Could have been at Georgia, but he chose to come to Coach Prime in Jackson State. He's one of the most talented defensive backs in the FCS. So much so that QBs are really scared to throw his way. At least in the SWAC conference they are. They are scared to throw that man's way. He has a whole island. Not to mention Shiloh, the big hitter that he is, right? He's still improving in coverage, but he is a big hitter. But you go to Cameron Sillman, who is baby Tyrann Mathieu. We know how great of a playmaker he is. You bring him down, you send him on the blitz. Chances are your QB's going to end up on the ground. Not only that, they bring in Greg Great, a.k.a. Joker, from Middle Tennessee State. We know what a dynamic playmaker he was at the FBS level. I think he totaled over 100 tackles last season for the Raiders of Middle Tennessee State. Now he's at Jackson State as well. You got him. John Huggins, who is an NFL prospect on the Senior Bowl watch list, I believe. He coming from Florida, the SEC. He's back. Not only that, you bring in 2 of the most battle-tested freshmen in college football. Tavion Beasley from St. John's Bosco, who went up against 3 5-star recruits at receiver his senior season and held his own, including Luther Burden, who is now at Missouri. He's there. He's got that slot. He's him and Isaiah Bowden, who is another former Power 5 transfer. They got that on lock. That slot is going to be way better than it was last year. And we ain't even mentioned Travis Hunter, the dog that he is. Now, Travis, we've seen the clips. We saw the spring game. We've seen the clips of him versus Shane Hooks. We know what he's going to do. It's simple. The man's going to have a great year in the SWAC. He is. Those DBs for Jackson State, I don't know anybody else who's topping it.
Hey, he like to push off, 5. Yup. That's a great lead, though. I'm asking you a question.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful, man. Beautiful.
I don't know anybody else who's top. Next up, D-Line University. There's quite a few schools that could have been in this slot. But, I mean, after a certain acquisition in the offseason, I don't see how you can't put Southern University right here. How can you not put Southern University right here? That defensive line was already hell for offensive coordinators and offensive lines. They were hell. But then you go out and you add Jason Dumas, baby Aaron Donald. You're talking about a guy who really sat up here and went off against Texas A&M, a Power 5 school. He is a legitimate NFL talent. You bring him alongside Jordan Lewis, we know the dog that he is, right? He's gotten a lot of attention because he's raised a lot of eyebrows throughout his college career, right? Especially with the number of sacks that he's accumulated. Now you pair them two together, you make for a dangerous combination. So much so that I really am keeping a close eye on Southern and what they're going to be able to do defensively. They are a force to be reckoned with. And if they stay healthy, if everybody on that defensive line stays healthy, man, who knows? The sky is really the limit for Southern University. They are a defensive line university. It's no question about it. And last but not least, for part 1 of the HBCU superlative list, best drip is FAMU. FAMU has the best uniforms in HBCU football. I'm sorry. JSU fans, don't get mad at me. South Carolina State fans, don't get mad at me. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. Like, I remember when I made the SWAC uniform ranking list or the HBCU uniform ranking list, and I think I had FAMU at number 3. I think they were top 3. But they moved up to me, man. I mean, the uniform combos that they came out with last season, the all orange, the all white, like, they have so many colorful combinations, and it just hits. Like, that orange and green is really just eye-popping. You know, they make it's swaggy. It's swaggy. You feel me? Like, I don't care if I'm not a fan of FAMU. I can be fair and say that, man, when it comes to that color scheme, when it comes to those uniforms, they got it. They got the best swag in the SWAC. In the probably not the FCS. They up there, but not in the FCS. They're not the best in the FCS, but they're one of the best. Those uniforms are fire. It's fire. It's so many ways you can swag that out if you're a player. But yeah, that's part 1 of the HBCU superlative list. Next up, we're gonna talk about offense. So be on the lookout, because that's where it gets crazy at. If you see part 2 on the screen, you're gonna see what I'm talking about, man. Part 2 is gonna get, it's gonna get a little testy. Y'all might agree, y'all might not agree. Either way, this is gonna make for some good interaction and some good conversation and content. So with that being said, you are watching the CFL podcast. I go by the name of Kobe. I'm out.